Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever. This is a ladder match on the Bermuda Locket. We have ThomasHiatt playing Aeon. I think he's only playing Aeon these days, for whatever reason. And Turbo, not sure about him. Maybe he just plays Cybern, but I haven't watched too many ladder games recently, so I'm not sure if he's always going Cybern. So Turbo, player who recently got to the rank he's at, improved quite a lot recently, and we saw him in a couple of casts, I think, at least one anyway, where he beat ThomasHiatt on Fields of Thunder. That was 5x5 though. We're on 20x20 now. ThomasHiatt, he's also not been around for that long in comparison to a lot of players. Has a huge amount of games under his belt though, in a very short space of time. So we have one mech built. You can see the delay of mechs as we often see in Bermuda. Okay. What the fuck? Is he really building an air factory? No, he's changed his mind there. Yeah, not what he wanted. Definitely don't want to build your air factory after 4 PGens. So, who's making videos these days? MediCraze has some very nice videos that people should go check out and support. And I'll put a link in the description. There should be a link on my channel as well to him, as I'm sub to him. So definitely check those out. Turbo now making his air factory, or finishing it. Got 8 PGens. Only 8 PGens. Not normal for this map. You usually go quite a few more. Now he builds the air factory, and now he's building more power. He has a bit of assistance, and yeah, serious lack of power, as we have 2 mechs building at once as well, so that's a lot of power spent. And you can see Thomas is not spending power on mechs, so he's doing fine. 360 power for mechs, minus 30, or maybe minus 35. No, minus 30. So Thomas is not stalling. Still, we have one into each. People are not trans rushing, and more power being constructed quite quickly. You should see a 3rd factory be built rather soon, probably. Oh no, this is quite bad. So Thomas got his Inti in behind because the Inti went after this air scout, so that was really good for Thomas. Free kill on that interceptor, and now he's gonna have 2 interceptors versus 1 very soon. Well, 1v1, but half HP on this one, and the transport comes out. Now where's Thomas making any more? No, he didn't make any more inties. He went for a transport at that point. But look, he has 1 inti left over, and he's going after the transport. It's almost dead, but it actually is going to survive. So that was a bit messy, but the transport lives just about. So this scout is should spot this. Has he locked on? No, that's a move order. Needs to send the scout in so he can lock on, and maybe give a move order over to the side so he doesn't run into inties. Meanwhile, Thomas is dropping now, and he has a bomber waiting as well on the left side. So looking good for Thomas. He has several factories. He has a land factory here. That's quite strange. It's also idle. That's not so good. And he's missed the transport. Look at this. No, that's big missed opportunity. If he kills the transport as it's coming across, because it's going to be very unlikely that, I mean, it's going to die in like 2 shots, I think. So very unlikely that those inties would, or the engineers would even get out of the transport. And that's a bad missed opportunity. And now the bomber gets caught as well, and it's not even on the landmass, it's way off to the side. And the transport will die maybe eventually, but it's dropped all of its cargo. 3 here, 3 there. Nice split. And Turbo has better income. Even, oh man, he has a brutal stall though, but has better income. Needs to pause his air. Just stop. Maybe finish this because it's 99% done, but just pause. Because you really want to get, well, you have to get your power production going, so you have to pause air to produce the P-gens, because this is where, this is 120 power minus, this is another 60, so that's most of his power income going into building more power. And of course the factories made him stall quite a bit because he's building 2 factories at once, and yeah, you just gotta pause there. But still, his expansion far superior, and it didn't cost him. It should have cost him, really. I think should have cost him his transport, building so many mexes quite quickly. Thomas missed an opportunity. So now the mission is, well, look at this. That is a lot of labs. A lot of labs. So they're going to obviously get to the expansion a lot faster than Aurora are going to get there. So Thomas decides to just go for labs at the start. He's not going to keep making a shit ton of labs. As you can see, we have loads of Aurora queued up after. But the AC was already there, which is quite annoying, honestly, for Thomas. And now Turbo starts T2 immediately. Interesting. It's very early to make T2. It's, I mean, you can see 200 power minus. That's a decent amount of power to be using. And say if there was some arties, if there was just like 2 artillery maybe, any number of artillery, he would just have to cancel the upgrade because there's 0 units, absolutely 0 units. And now the power stall. So interesting decision. Maybe not. What's, well, I don't think there will be any artillery, so maybe it's fine. Thomas way ahead on mass reclaim. So you can see here, this is so clean. This is not clean. He's like double, which is ridiculous, honestly. And Turbo is way ahead on generated mass. So what is going on? Well, Thomas not taking mexes, instead prioritizing reclaim. Maybe gone too far one way, not far enough the other. So on this map you can do a lot of damage early on with drops. So you can see there's so much landmass here that can be dropped really easily. There's no radar. Even if there was radar, it's very difficult to catch transports early on. So Thomas still has his transport alive, so he could just grab, say, some of these labs that he had, and could just drop them here, kill potentially 8 mexes. Could drop engineers here to build a forward base, get a PD, and look, there's already artillery. Turbo thinks there's probably gonna be a PD here. Could drop engineers here, although they've already arrived, but you could get there a bit faster. So transports are really useful. Now this, oh, I hope these weren't upgrading, but the labs actually did get past. Some of them do have 9 kills on the ASU, and I would use that ASU to build a T2 power generator, honestly. It's time to stop T1 power because we're already at like 1400 power income. I don't think you need to make more than that really with T1 power, and you probably shouldn't when you have T2 technology on your ACU. He can afford to go back and start a T2 power generator here because he has PDs. He can see what's coming, and there's not much. Now we already have 3 T2 mexes, and we have a couple naval factories versus a couple naval factories. Not much happening. He's shooting the factory. Now changes targets to the engineers, which is good. Immediately getting a large number of kills. And there's a sub coming. Very difficult for an AM player to do anything with T1 land on this map. because the chokes are so small that makes artillery really useful. These mexes, how did they die? Or were they just never built? I mean, did he really never build these? Thomas, please. I think I'm gonna give him the benefit of that and say some stuff died here. I mean, you can see some dead stuff. I think a bomber came in and killed some things. I already have a lot of T2PD, Turbo being very safe on this side. So on this map, things you need to do, I mean, you need to grab the mass, the reclaim quickly, and use a lot of it for economy, honestly, because you're gonna run out of the mass income. And if you haven't won the game by then you're probably gonna want some mass income, otherwise all of your production is going to stop. And your build power will be, well, you'll have far too much of it, because you'll run out of reclaim, then you'll have no mass, and your factories and engineers will be useless. So I really think this is a eco-heavy map. It should be played in that way generally. They have decent ecoing going for Turbo, and he's actually going ahead now in mass income. 92 mexes, more on the way. In terms of reclaim, he's actually caught up on reclaim, so we're at about 20k each. Thomas finally building some T1 mexes. And in terms of map control, oh my goodness. Okay, I totally didn't see that. Let's track it. Never get to use this feature. Here comes the ACU for the comm drop. And there's already so many there's the Cybern Commander, and there's a lot of T2PD here. And now let's stop tracking the transport. Oh, there's a TML here as well. And we have quite a lot of artillery as well moving in. This commander has double gun and shield, and he's dropped right on top of the Cybern Commander. And his transport is getting wasted. Oh, okay. Nice. Yes, this is what you want. So he's immediately starting to make more T2 drops. He had prepared units here, artillery mostly, and now he's going to make some drops, while Turbo is completely, well, he has to react to this attack. You can see his airs overhead. He's scrambling, trying to get PD up, get more units out here to defend against this very powerful commander. This is the perfect time to make some drops while your enemy is distracted. Now, where did that first drop go? Oh no, he's going to drop straight into the interceptors. Please, no, don't lose this. Okay, that's a really weird place to drop. He's just dropping where he's already attacking. Really strange. I mean, imagine this, like this completely undefended, T2 mexes, some power. That would be the place to drop. Not really where you're already attacking. Doesn't seem that useful. This commander only has the first shield, he doesn't have heavy shields, which is quite a big investment. But with double gun, he's taking almost no damage. He's on his second vet level, almost on his third. Air control is his. Another drop coming to the same place. No, Thomas. No. Please. Oh, that's... I mean, okay, he's getting more support for his ACU, so maybe he can keep pushing, but he has a lot of units here anyway, so it doesn't really seem like he needs it. Now, we also have T2 Navy. Oh, he's now changed his trajectory to be a bit more aggressive and dropping directly into the very main base. The starting small location. And what's he going to target? There's a lot of fervors here. Now we have a drop to this location. Just a T1 drop. And gunships. And he needs to finish this stuff off. Send just a 2 or 3 artillery. Finish this stuff off. Turbo is over here trying to make T2PD. Let's see his economy right now. Oh my god, it's a brutal power stall. Oh, nice. Getting a T2P gen up here is a very good thing for him. But this location has not been dropped. And now, oh, we have some... Well, that's just some Medusa attacking. Doesn't look like they can do much. The T2 Navy, there's a destroyer here going after the commander. The commander, with this Aeon range, could come over here and start attacking. At least, it could definitely attack the HQ, I think. Now, it looks like the units have run out from this side. The factories have gone idle. And we don't have any... Oh, we have some forward factories here, but they're also idle. And these T2 mechs have been allowed to live for quite a while. And Thomas is running out of units now. He still has complete air control, but again, this location not scouted and not dropped, not attacked. So maybe this won't be... Well, maybe this gives Turbo some hope. Turbo has 15,000 more total mass reclaimed. Total mass generated and reclaimed. And Thomas is in the base, but what can he kill now without artillery to do a lot of damage to buildings? And there's a lot of factories building tanks and artillery that it's going to be difficult. Maybe he should just focus on taking out some T2 mexes before he goes. He's coming now towards the ACU, which is building T1 PD very quickly. Oh, it's getting immediately destroyed by fervors, however. Still going to do decent damage to this ACU. The air, there's only, what? Oh, there's more turrets going up, so now he's going to lose this air rapidly if he keeps patrolling over here. And now, only now the gunships arrive on the left side. And there's anti-air prepared now, because the gunships were shown already. So, good reaction from Turbo to defend against this inevitable attack. You can see turrets spread quite well. Turrets going up here. We need a shield here. I think this is quite vulnerable. Still, a drop could do a lot of damage here. Oh, TML on TML, and that is in range of, well, there's no T2 mexes. There's so much PD going up here. Look at this. I really hate when people drag lines of PD. I have to say, it's a pet peeve. Just 3,000 mass and there's about the same queued up again. And Thomas under attack. The ACU went into the water. The Cybern ACU started building torpedo launchers, and Thomas is just piecing out. He's just leaving. And a lot of these gunships are getting wasted here. See some dying to Cybern. Oh, the Destros are chasing the commander. I don't think they're going to catch him though. And these gunships are, yeah, the gunships are really getting wasted. This could be nice. So we have a huge power overflow and mass stall. So while doing that attack, Thomas has suffered economically quite badly, honestly. That was that is not a nice economy balance to have. Turbo has stopped the attack successfully, has a lot of T1 land now in production. He's also stalling hugely after losing many T2 mexes. Oh, I think all of these here were T2. He lost all these T1 mexes. But look at this naval force now. Well, we have 2 Destros outside, and I think he's still looking for the ACU, which is pretty funny. I don't think he... Oh, T2 transport is spotted, and oh my god, jebaited? Oh no, he actually realized that I think he must have seen the other transport. But Thomas used 2 transports. I think he's trying to trick Turbo, and now Turbo doesn't have a lock on him, so he has to search, but he has no scouts. Now the scouts come out, and he's looking, but it's actually costing him his inties to search for his... Oh, he sees him now. Thomas doing well to protect though. Oh, this is dangerous. Look, 6 inties here, but it looks like he hasn't spotted it. Oh, this scout may spot him. Yes. Oh no, no reaction. Oh, now he reacted. Maybe too late though. Where's Thomas? He's coming into land, and it's half HP, this transport. And here come the inties. Oh. 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 That was a close one. That was a close one. Turbo nearly did it there. Oh, we have a bit of an attack here. Looks like Turbo has no units here for whatever reason. And Thomas has just a massive submarine fleet, which is really bad against Cybran. You can see Turbo now has 2 submarine killers. I think we all know how they're going to do against submarines. And the Salem destroyer is amazing also versus submarines. Has flares, which basically they work like Aeon TMD works with tactical missiles, except for torpedoes. So they are amazing torpedo defense, and mermaids have the same. The stealth boat have those flares as well. Goodbye T1 subs. And with the subs gone, that's like most of Thomas's fleet. He has 2 destroyers, which is nice, and the destroyers will do really well. They should kill the barracudas quite easily. But there's so many frigates, Cybran frigates, that actually, I mean, now if we look, we have, let's see, more mass income for Thomas now, which is good. Oh no, the T2 destroyers are here, but it looks like they're just going to get torpedoed, and there can't be any defense by Turbo against that. He doesn't have enough air. He doesn't want to waste his air to save 2 destroyers. Probably shouldn't have sent them all the way over here where they can't be defended. Maybe he could have brought them back and walked across again. So that'll be some reclaim. Oh, especially if it dies on land, it's going to leave even more reclaim. Probably not. It's a good idea to come up on land with the Salem, and look at that, the harb is missing. What the fuck? That is a strange one. Well, they got the job done in the end, and that's some nice reclaim for Thomas. Turbo now getting torpedoed in the middle, but actually he has a lot of air production. Because, oh, look at all these air factories. Quite a lot of production. So maybe he can win back air. All these torpedoes are dying for free. They're not being saved. Okay, now we see them retreating, but most of them have gone down already. And they killed some stuff, but it looks like they were killing some frigates and things. Need to really target the destroyers. You see the destroyers have less HP per mass, far less than a frigate. Also, Cybran frigates have good anti-air. It's going to take 3 passes for a torpedo bomber to kill a frigate, and then it's going to take a few more for to kill a destroyer. But the destroyer costs a lot more mass, almost 10 times as much. You don't need 10 times the passes though to kill it, so you should aim for T2 units when using your torpedo bombers. T3 land, the Harbingers, which we already saw take out the Cybran Destros, are now aboard a T2 transport. We have a lot of torpedo bombers, but the naval factory is injured. It's damaged. Guess it's not injured. It's not an animal. But it is damaged, and maybe it was this tactical missile launcher which has 5 kills maybe, and it has quite a lot of mass. That's 2,000 veterancy points. The Destro goes down. Other Destro being targeted now. But again, a lot of these the torpedo bombers are not being defended. All this air is idle, and torpedo bombers aren't free. They're kind of cheap, but definitely not free. And there's also a cruiser here. And is that efficient to lose all those torpedo bombers and kill some stuff, but really not that much? I mean, the cost of a torpedo bomber is comparable to a frigate. So you got a question. Just how many torpedo bombers did he use there? Gotta be at least 20. And they all died. Oh! Harbs in the base. 3 mechs has gone down. The core mechs, which survived the initial comm drop attack. And now, well, T1 PD going up. Artillery coming in to defend. There's a lot of units around here. So the Harbs are going to have to keep moving to avoid getting killed by the Medusa. And now they're running into range of T1 PD. And getting destroyed quite quickly. Uh-oh. Yeah, they're going to go down. And Turbo can actually overcharge this last one if he wants. Doesn't even need to, though. So, some damage done there. And some reclaim left. But overall, I think that was a good attack. I mean, you can see he also forcing him to build all these PDs is a bonus. That's just mass sunk into useless PDs, really. So you gotta... Turbo needs to stop building them or even reclaim them. Did lose a couple of T2 mexes. This place, still not been dropped, still not been dropped. These are the places that need to be dropped more than anywhere else, because you can see there's so many units here. The T2 Navy is right next to it. Maybe, I'm not sure, maybe Thomas could have killed the T2 Naval HQ in that push. Perhaps, but I'm not sure. Oh, now a lot of factories getting recycled for Turbo, that's good. Doesn't need all this T1 land production. It's not going to be useful, so recycle the factories. Could probably recycle some of these as well. And we have Wagner's. Turbo is not going to T3 land. So he's not worried about Harbingers. Here we go. We have 2 T3 P-Gens. We have T3 Air. We have a T3 Air support factory coming up. We have an Omni sensor. That's a lot of power income. Oh, and a big power stall. And now we actually have T2 Navy on the outside for Turbo coming from this factory. Now that would be something good to torpedo bomb. It doesn't have much HP. It's not going to be defended. I would definitely be torpedoing that. Get rid of that build power. How many Harbs do we have right now? Well, we have 4. And maybe some on a transport somewhere. Oh, yes, we do. Here comes another drop. And it's a strange path. Going here. Oh, he's been spotted. Surely. Those are those inties? Yeah. Changes the flight path. Tries to drop here. Oh, it does land. But he only has T1 mexes to kill. There's no T2 mexes in this area, so not an ideal place to be forced to drop into. And well spotted by Turbo, so shouldn't be too much damage done here. He can rebuild the mexes quite quickly and should be able to defend with the ACU, wherever the ACU is. Let's look at the air now. We have 8 ASF, 10 Swifties, 40 interceptors. Still more mass income for Thomas. And significantly more power income. We need T3 air now from turbo, and we have it. T3 engineers coming out, so we'll see T3 power, so he can actually fight and not get killed by T3 air. But he has nice cruisers around the place. He has good scouting. Seems like he knows what's going on. Has seen a lot of this stuff. I think these T2 naval attacks on the outside are not that good. Don't seem to be terribly useful. A single cruiser or a single destroyer is just going to get torpedoed, and you cannot. Oh no! This is really bad for Thomas. He doesn't have. Oh, what happened there? I think he didn't have radar there, and I think he lost. I think he lost radar coverage, and now he's lost his entire navy. He moved in here, I think, trying to sneakily get some damage done. You see there's T2 mexes in range, and he just lost 3 destroyers and a ton of subs, and his production is paused. And now the navy, the total navy for ThomasHiatt is 5 T1 submarines. In middle, we have 3 destroyers, 3 cruisers, nearly 30 frigates. Turbo needs to move in, and this navy could be the end of Thomas right now. Now I saw a strap bomber, but I don't know where it's gone. Thomas had a strap bomber. Is this it? I hope he didn't lose the one I saw in middle. I hope this is the same one. There's a lot of reclaim in middle here to be grabbed. A lot of naval reclaim. Naval wrecks obviously leave quite a lot. They're more expensive at each given tech level than air and land counterparts. And this trap bomber is not doing too much. Now we have only a single destroyer. We're still making subs. We need frigates. We need mass so that we can actually produce things. The torpedo bombers are building up, but that doesn't look like enough torpedo bombers, and he's gonna have to protect them. Needs to fight air here. That's a strange command to give. That's not how I would go for an air fight, honestly. Not at all. The cruisers, there's still one remaining, which has not been targeted. So maybe he can take it out. Oh, his destroyers are just getting instantly killed. All these frigates, there's no hope to get rid of them. And there's no blazes either. We need some blaze production perhaps to save the navy. That would definitely help. Some blazes would definitely help, but we don't have any blaze production. And he looks like he just lost air. Just to pure interceptors. I don't see any ASF. I didn't see any ASF, and it looks like pure inties have just 1 air versus Swifties, inties, ASF, and this is not good at all. Still, he has more mass income. He has 2 T3 mexes, but he has no navy now. His entire naval production has been killed. There's 4 destroyers now on his shore. He's lost air control, and there will only be cruisers from now on from Turbo, which is going to make it nigh on impossible to use. Well, he needs to only make cruisers now. It's going to be nigh on impossible to get air. So we also have T3 air production now. Huge power overflow. I think both these guys are really not making enough mass economy and making too much power economy, which is not unusual. Strap bomber trying to do what it can before it goes down. It is dead now. T2 artillery on the shore for Thomas. Complete air domination for... Oh, we lost the Omni. 2 T3P gens. That is nasty. Still 2,000 plus 2,000 power income. I guess his air production is paused, and he's not building ASF. He's building torpedo bombers, so that's going to save a lot on power. TML's flying in, but there's TMD there to defend, and now there's cruisers at the back of the base, which are not going to get torped now, thanks to the air domination by the interceptors at 32 minutes. And oh, this big attack here. A lot of stuff has gone down. Some harbs have died now, however, and now there's jesters coming after them. A lot of T2P gens gone down, but the harbs are going to be stopped now. This won't last much longer, and the damage, although it's, well, it's limited really, not significant enough. Now as soon as Thomas tries to start making ASF again, he is stalling hugely. Looks like a drop coming in. Intercept or engineers. How do I get inties and NGs mixed up? I guess it's kind of similar. And he's gonna reclaim that. Should throw up a factory and then reclaim some more. And he's also grabbing this reclaim in the water over here, closer to home. And he's way out here in the water with stealth and T2. And Salem's make landfall over here, and they're going to go after all the T2 mexes here and the T3 land HQ. There's no harbs. There's a single artillery, which may eventually kill both of these Salems if they don't react. But yeah, this looks quite over now. Thomas now making an absurd number of scouts. I don't know why. He doesn't really have anything to snipe with, so there's not really any value in seeing what Turbo has. Artillery doing its best. It has killed some units, but it's going down. Can't be defended. Not enough shields. Mobile shields could have helped. We see some coming out now. Still no blazes, but there's so many frigates here that blaze would not help without a huge number of them. Oh, another push, however. Harbs a bit ahead of the... Oh, we have T3 gunships now with the jesters, so not much hope here. Gonna do some more damage. A lot of stuff died here, but again, it's just T2P gens, and this is nothing compared to this. Here you always have the opportunity to rebuild. When you have T2 Navy outside your main base, you don't really have the opportunity. That just... two Salems just got murdered by T2 artillery at once. So much reclaim here. And now, oh, we have some torpedoes, but they're found. I don't know what they're even trying to achieve. And actually the two Salems that were here have maybe died. The land HQ did not go down, but yeah, we're really just waiting for the end now. Just about zero hope. Thomas just walking around the edge of the map. Almost, oh, he's so close to his 5th vet level. Very, very close. So Turbo now should have no worries. Has an Omni sensor of his own on the left. T3 gunships can probably move in and kill everything. He just needs to send them in. Can really just send them in. Oh, well, actually, there's a lot of T1 anti-air here. So maybe... well, you could certainly kill all the right side. You can kill all of this stuff. Could really do any number of things to end this game. It's gonna make an artillery drop. It's gonna try, but it gets caught. So he's just spamming a lot of T3 gunships, it seems. Which is definitely not a bad way. And now he's on the right hand side. He's trying to drop artillery here, and But the cruisers are going down, getting killed by torpedoes and the artillery. He's trying to dodge the artillery, look at this, and he gets caught. It's always going to happen. And Thomas, what's his plan? Does he have any plan? Or he just doesn't want to give up the ghost? Just relying on somehow his Harbinger's doing something. But nine flak with no shields is not going to survive T3 gunships in large number, and 10 is, that's a lot of T3 gunships. And he's even getting killed by T2 Navy on the shore, so really nothing he can do. Now artillery finishing up the right expansion. Here come the gunships, and the shields go down. All the flak is gone now, and that leaves the Harbs defenseless completely. And down they go. Salems make landfall. Send in the gunships. They've only taken a little bit of damage, you can see. And here come the Salems now, trying to finish this off. He's quite afraid of the anti-air. Now it looks like we'll have another air loss for Thomas potentially. Yeah, you can see Turbo draws the fight away from all the anti-air that Thomas is trying to bring in. Now with the anti-air, Thomas could have won that fight, but Turbo does not get baited in under or over the T3 Mobile A, and Thomas calls GG. And that is that. Very interesting game. Comm drop from Thomas. I think those kind of gun comm drops, I mean, he did the exact right thing, drop right into range of the ASU, but he couldn't actually kill the ASU because, I mean, Turbo built all these T2PDs, and so early on as well, like they wouldn't have even been that useful really, because there wasn't even T2 land from Thomas. But then when he drops ASU, suddenly those PDs are actually allowing Turbo to get away from the comm drop, which is it's just strange. can't plan for that, but it worked perfectly for Turbo. And I think if he didn't have the PDs, obviously he would be crushed. He wouldn't get out of range of that ACU, which had to stop and start overcharging and things. Don't think he gets away there. And maybe when Thomas pushed, I mean, he pushed all the way through to this base. He could have killed this a bit faster, yeah. If he had dropped here, killed a bit more eco, used those drops rather than dropping here. If he had been a bit more ambitious, dropped here with those artillery, and maybe also sent the gunship straight to these bases where there's T2 mexes before showing them. Could have also been good because Turbo had a good reaction and built these anti-air turrets here, which prevented gunship raids. Overall, a very nice, interesting game on a great map, and I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll tune in for the next one, and as always, send me replays if you got them. I do replay reviews and I cast high level games. That's pretty much it. And yeah, see you next time.